My name is Jill Mayfield. I'm a career counselor with the Mahoning County Educational Service Center, and we are here for our final webinar this week for the Career Exploration Tour virtually. And welcome, students. We're glad to have you with us. Our final speaker today is Nick Deniakis. Nick is a master technician at Sweeney Chevrolet Buick GMC in Boardman. He's going to speak to us today about his career path as well as career opportunities at Sweeney and other automotive areas. Students, as you have questions today, please refer to the Q&A icon at the bottom of your screen, and we will address as many questions as possible at the end of Nick's presentation. That being said, Nick, it's all yours.
Good afternoon, students. I am here at Sweeney Buick GMC. It's our brand new dealership that just recently opened. I apologize for the mask, but it's a company policy right now with COVID-19 going on. So I'm going to have to wear the mask as I give you a tour through the service facility, and also just telling you a little bit about myself. And obviously at the end of the interview here with the tour, we will do some questions. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with, I'll give a little bit of background here at Sweeney's Buick GMC. We also have our sister store across the street, which is Sweeney Chevrolet. I've been here about 8 years now as an automotive technician. Started off at a local garage when I was 16, working in North Lima after school. I went to Boardman High School, graduate class of 2001, and been with in the automotive industry, let's see, about 20 years now, I would say roughly. Did a little bit of a tour at another dealership being a service advisor for about 3 years, and came back in being a technician since then. So I'm going to go ahead and it's my first Zoom virtual tour, so just bear with me. I usually do these in person at several different locations or at Sweeney's location. So I'm going to go ahead and walk through here the shop. Sorry about the noise. And we're going to go ahead and do a little quick tour here of the brand new building. If I can figure out a way to flip the camera around, I may need Jill's assistance on this. Jill, oh, got it right here. Switching the camera. This is our new service department, but I'm going to go and start up through the service office and then work my way back through the service department here. First one I've ever done. So basically, this brand new dealership, they're still finishing up the work outside here. Work our way back through. Service drive area with the service office to the service advisors. This is where you get a write-up by several of these gentlemen here at the service desks. Then we'll work our way back into my area, the service department itself, where we work on the cars. Brand new facility, just opened about 4 weeks ago, state of the art. Brand new lifts, everything, LED lighting. And needless to say, I'm very happy to be a part of being in the Sweeney family here and being a part of this great opportunity to work in a brand new service department, a brand new dealership. So a little bit more about myself, why I chose to work on cars. I'm going to go ahead and head back into the service foreman's office so it's a little bit quieter and you guys can hear me, because there's a lot of noise out in the shop, as you can expect, especially on a busy day like today. So, okay, I'm sitting down. I'm going to take my mask off since I'm not near any customers or employees. Yeah, so not sure how many students I have today. Got a couple, one younger technician who just graduated from CCTC. He's been with us about a year. I'll let him talk a little bit about himself. And another student, technician, is now a line technician, who was given an opportunity to do a program here through Sweeney's Stark State College and graduated with a 2-year degree, and now is a line technician here. So we'll talk to him briefly too. Myself, like I had said, I've been here about 8 years at Sweeney's, been a technician approximately for the last 15 years, had a little stint being a service advisor. Couple things, think about why I chose this path. I like working with my hands. Very interested in cars at a very young age. So that's what escalated to where I am today. Sweeney's has provided me with a lot of opportunity and a lot of educational tools. A lot of it is through General Motors, specifically being at a General Motors dealership. Training never quits. Training is every single year. We go through training at a satellite location, also through Stark State in Canton. We do that several times a year. Any technician that works here, that's a line technician for that matter. On top of that, we have to do a lot of the training on our own at home on our time through website training through the website for General Motors, on top of training that is required for safety and company purposes as well. So it's very important. It's going to be continued education always doing this job. It never stops. Another thing that does occur, or training that I have, I should say, is ASE training. That's Automotive Service Excellence. It's certifications that are required being a technician. Let me go ahead and zoom this here. Just bear with me. Okay. So the ASEs I was talking about, specifically doing the ASE training, that's something that you have to get certified every 5 years. There's 8 subfields to being a master technician, from engine performance to manual drivetrain, automatic transmissions, and so on and so forth. There's 8 key areas that attach to your General Motors training. And those certifications, like I was saying, expire every 5 years, required by General Motors, required by Sweeney's to do. It's a test that you go take at a satellite location, something that you study for. And on top of that training, you have General Motors training that we do every year. So it's very important. I started off here in quick service, changing oil and doing brakes and simple maintenance work, alignments, and I was given the opportunity to become a line technician. And the reason I was given an opportunity is because of certain things, like such as having great attendance working here, showing up to work on time, not calling off for silly reasons, and showing a lot of initiative and drive to be a technician. So after I did that for about 1.5 years, I was promoted to line technician, and I've been a line technician since then. So those are very important things, as you've probably been told by several other people doing these virtual tours, how important it is to keep up with your education, keep up with your training, and also simple things like attendance. Very important. Having the right attitude. Having the right attitude is a huge success I want to see on Sweeney's. They've been here 100 years next year, and the people that I get to work around with every day all have similar great attitudes, and we work as a team. So that's also very important. So I'm going to hope that there isn't much noise in the shop, and I'd like to do a specific training little video thing here with a truck that I have in my service bay near my toolbox, and show you a couple things being a technician, the day-to-day, we'll call it grind of being a technician. So I got to put this mask back on and go back out in the shop. Hopefully you can hear me. So I'm going to head back out there now. Take a look here. Coming back out here, I'm gonna have one of the guys give me a hand here. I'm gonna switch these cameras. Thank you. Alrighty. But before I switch off and we go ahead and go over this vehicle, this is the one gentleman that has been working for us for about 1 year. So I'm gonna let you talk with him briefly. I'll go ahead and be his cameraman. Alrighty.
Hi, my name is Arian Baumgartner. I graduated from the Columbia County Career and Technical Center in 2019. In my 2 years there, I gathered a handful of student ASCs from maintenance and light repair to brakes and suspension, and I've been with the company for just about a year coming up, and I'm a candidate for a future mentorship program.
Okay. Here I'm going to have, that's Arian Baumgartner. And like he was saying, he's showed great attitude and great attendance. And he's going to be a candidate to be one of our future techs here. I'm going to have him be my cameraman. Hopefully the volume's still good. I'm sure if it wasn't, Jill would chime in. So we're going to go ahead and do a demonstration now. I have a 2020 GMC Sierra Denali with a Duramax engine in it that I just want to show you what, specifically being a technician pulling a vehicle in your service bay, trying to diagnose a vehicle. So this vehicle obviously doesn't have any problems with it being a brand new 2020, but I'm just going to give you a kind of a feel for what it's like when you're pulling a vehicle into the service bay. You know, if you have to rack the vehicle, the software and the technology that we use, along with the education I was talking about earlier in the training that's required to be a technician, to use that in order to be able to do my job every day. So we're going to go ahead and switch this camera. This is a 2020 GMC Denali. It actually has a Duramax diesel engine in it, half-ton pickup truck. And I'm going to go ahead and pass this camera off to Arian. Okay. So what I'm going to demonstrate here, if you want to pan over here to, this is where I work every day with my toolbox, being a master technician here at Sweeney's. One of the biggest tools we use, all the line technicians, is something as simple as this laptop right here. And we use that laptop to communicate with our scan tool, which I have hooked up to the truck. And I'll pan over to that and I'll show you nothing more than a small plastic box. This is called an MDI. It's a diagnostic interface that's hooked up to the truck. And I can communicate with that laptop over there, point-to-point wireless. So there's no wires required. So I'm going to go and start the truck up now, and then I'll show you a couple things that we would look at in a typical situation of diagnosing a vehicle for a drivability problem. I got the truck here running. Typically, you should pull it in from outside, bring the truck into your service bay at the technician. Obviously, hook up the MDI as I discussed earlier. And then if you come over to the laptop, one of the things that you have to do is monitor the data. So this would be just a quick example of the engine running, looking at a couple data parameters as a technician, such as engine speed, engine coolant temperature sensor, and a couple other sensors in regards to trying to diagnose something that may be wrong with the car. And that's where the training comes into play. It's certified. There's hands-on training, like I was stating earlier, at Florida State College. So it's not just maybe one vehicle that you work on a day, where you have to say do an engine replacement. There may be other days where you work on 12 or 15 cars, doing various light repairs. Believe it or not, a lot of the repairs you do on the vehicles are actually software updates, like your home computer. When your home computer Windows needs to do a Windows update, cars are almost the same way now. The technology involved them. Some of these cars have up to 35 computers that all talk to each other. So these computers are all talking to each other. They obviously make the vehicle run, make the lights work, the Bluetooth, the Wi-Fi, the engine run, the transmission shift. So there's a lot involved with the technology on the car, and it all, again, full circle with the training. So anytime something new comes out, whether it's a new model, new engine, new transmission, we have specific training that we have to do before those products are launched and the customer purchases them. So got the engine running. Various things that you look for as a technician. Simplest things when doing strategy-based diagnosis is just visual inspecting. It's one of the things that you'll see a lot of the guys do when you open up the hood on a vehicle. So I just check everything over, and like I said, this one's running perfect. It's a brand new truck.
then another thing that we can do as a technician, not monitor the data, we can operate certain things on the vehicle with the laptop using the MDI, where we can control function test many things. I can raise the idle on the engine. I can roll the windows up and down to make those function properly. If the customer has an issue with the windows, in that case, it has the vehicle up in the air running with the wheels spinning to make sure it's shifting properly. In some cases, we'll go on a road test with the laptop, with the person for safe driving to make sure that the vehicle is running properly, shifting properly, let's say up to 65 miles per hour. So we won't be doing that today, but that's another thing we can do with this technology and the training that I'm using. So I'm going to go ahead and snag the camera back
from Arian. And Jill, how are we doing? We still good? Or I don't know if you can chime in on the video or if I just keep rolling.
Hi, Nick. You're doing okay because of the mask. It's hard to understand you, but it seems like the closer the camera person is to you, the easier we're able to understand.
Okay, I do apologize for that.
That's
It's
okay.
a company requirement.
But we can understand you much better now that you're closer to the cameraman.
Okay. Is there anything there you want me to redo, or did they get a general idea?
I think maybe, you know how you turn the windshield wipers on that one time for us? Like by the computer? Do something like, do that. That'd be cool.
Oh yeah, we can do that. So the data here is the engine data. So I'm just going to back out. And this is one of the things, again, I'm going to point out. I got this just plugged in for power purposes, but I'm obviously completely wireless here. Using this software, we obviously have to do training to be able to use this software and navigate around this software efficiently as a technician. So I'm going to go into where I need to go to be able to control the wipers. And this is a General Motors software. It's called GDS2. It's a global software that they use. So in the case of the, you just bear with me. The wipers. I can go in and basically all I'm going to do is control the wiper motor relay. So all I'm going to do is apply it and unapply it. I'm going to roll the, put the hood down. I'm not going to roll the hood down. maybe one day. So I'm just going to go in using this software. I'm just going to put it on low speed right there. And I have to turn the ignition off. I can't have the truck running. Sorry if it's a little shaky. I'm going to set the ignition on. I had the engine running for the engine data demonstration. I'm going to come back over here on the laptop. And then we're going to go ahead and hit low speed again right there. I don't know if you could see that. Is that clear?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Basically, if they had a concern with the wipers not working, I can test those by using that laptop. And I don't have any tricks up my sleeve. Like I was saying, using this MDI here, you can see it talking point-to-point wireless with the laptop over here on top of my toolbox. So I would say, if the customer had an issue with that, I can also monitor the data. And again, this all goes with the training. As being a technician, there's many different pieces of parameter data here that you would monitor if those weren't operating when I hit low speed. And then obviously I would go in through the worksheets, follow the diagnostic path as a technician, which is a step-by-step lean diagnosis, step 1, step 2, and so on and so forth, to come to a conclusion on what the vehicle would need as far as the diagnosis go, to where it may need a wiper motor, or it may need have a wiring problem that I would have to pinpoint and repair. So every single diagnostic path and every single parameter you're looking at would be a little different. whether you're trying to diagnose the wipers as Jill had me do, or if I was looking at an engine drivability issue. So that's all strategy-based diagnosis, and that's with many jobs too. It's not just being a technician, always trying to problem solve. So there's a lot of problem solving that goes into play here being a technician. And I will say this, that's one of the enjoyments of being a technician is once you figure out what's wrong with the vehicle. And I'm going to go ahead and shut these wipers off now. I can control function test that. Try not to move the camera too fast. So I'm going to stop that right here. So I can even stop them, park them right there. So we know the wipers are working good on this one. So I got that stopped. I'm going to leave this on here. And I have another, is it okay if we do another thing, Joe, with another technician? I can have him talk to these students for a little bit, or do you want me to continue?
No, that's absolutely fabulous. I think it's great for them to hear from people that have been in their shoes, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Just walk,
I'm
walk a little slow when you walk
Okay.
down there. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Thank
I
you.
had the other iPad, which I had a stable thing going. This one here, I did not do that. So I will apologize to them for that.
Hey, you're doing a great job.
Okay. I got him here. If I could borrow him from our shop foreman, Devin Smith. Devin's here. We didn't really get to prepare a little bit because it's been a little bit of a hectic day today, but I'm live here, Devin.
Yeah, reach that immediately.
Devin, I'm live.
That's what I've done a couple times to get it to fail. Hi.
Hi. So we're here with Jill Mayfield and this X amount of students. I'm not sure how many, but if you want to go ahead and tell them a little bit about yourself. And I was just discussing how we're here at the new dealership and a few things that I went over just being a technician there. I was using the MDI and I was showing them how to use GDS2. But if you want to go ahead and give them,
I would continue to try that.
you want to go ahead and tell them a little bit about yourself.
Who am I talking to?
We are live with students for all throughout, I want to say, the Mahoning County.
How you doing?
Hi, Devin.
Welcome to Sweeney Buick GMC.
Hi, Devin. Welcome. This is Jill Mayfield. I'm a career counselor with the Mahoning County ESC.
Very nice to meet you.
We're joined by 20 or so students same to you. We're joined by 20 or so students right now from various school districts. We offered this opportunity to 21 districts in our valley. So go ahead and tell them about yourself.
Well, I've been doing this now for about 25 years myself. I've been with the General Motors manufacturer now for most of that time frame, 22 years, 23 years. I've been now in the position I'm in now for just about 6 months. I'm still figuring it out. I still very much enjoy working on cars. I still very much, as Nick was saying earlier, enjoy problem solving, taking something that's broken, and making it right again. There is all sorts of aspects when working on these cars. So many different areas that require different levels of skill set. Some you have to pay very, very close attention, and others you can kind of feel your way through and figure out as you go, almost like working on something around the house. But today's cars are just getting more and more complex, more interesting to work on. But all the while, it's been a very enjoyable process, very enjoyable occupation.
Okay, so that's Devin Smith. He's our shop foreman here. Devin mentored me along when I started here at Sweeney's and helped me come along as a technician. And I just wanted to chat with him briefly. We didn't get a chance to sit down because it's been a busy day, but the one gentleman that I was mentioning as I was walking over here, sorry if I'm walking too fast, is Chase Packard. And Chase, go ahead and tell them a little bit about being a tech here and how you started here after graduating high school and what path you had to take to become a line technician today.
All right. So I started here as a quick lube technician, just basic rudimentary oil changes, tire rotations, just basic maintenance on vehicles. So showed great initiative, worked every day, showed up on time, worked hard, kept moving along as much as I could. They presented me an offer to go to school through Sweeney's at Stark State up in Canton. They have a program called the GM ASEP program, where you will go up there, you'll have hands-on training inside a classroom, you'll have instructors that talk to you and like work you through everything up there. And when you're not up there, they'll pair you with a mentor here, a master technician, and you will shadow them for 2 years. Whenever you're not in school, you're here in the shop working, getting hands-on experience with more of an upgraded level of repair, more than just oil change, tire rotations. You're working on the cars, you're following around, seeing how to diagnose them, how to repair them, and everything. It's a great program to go into. You learn a lot. It's a 2-year degree. You come out with an associate's degree in applied science and your GM ASEP certification, which is about 80% of the way to a master technician for GM.
And thank you, Chase. Chase, like he was saying, he's about 80% right out of school, and he's now a full line technician, and he's also specializing with extra education and training as a diesel and transmission technician. So with his, like he was stating, great attendance, great attitude, showing initiative, working hard every day, he was given the opportunity to be mentored and go through that program that Sweeney's paid for. And in return, he works here for X amount of years and gets to make a really nice paycheck working here for a great company. So I don't mean to walk too fast here. I'm trying not to make it too shaky. But I'm going to go back in this office here so I can sit down and maybe answer some questions. Is that okay, Joe?
That would be great.
Okay.
Yes. Rebecca can? I can make it up myself if you guys can't.
Oh, sorry about that.
You're good.
I am using a backup iPad. So any questions, feel free to ask me. I've been an advisor. Like I said, I've been a technician, and I've been in this field, the automotive industry, since I was basically 16 years old when I was going to Boardman High School, graduate of 01. So any questions they want to ask me, feel free about being a technician, maybe a service advisor. I know a little bit about other positions here at the dealership.
We do have some questions. Before we get to that, I know you are a Boardman grad. I know you hired 2 of the seniors that I had last year, you guys did, over in car detailing, and I think the car runners from one dealership to the other. So students, if you're looking for opportunities when you graduate from high school, you're not sure exactly what you want to do, but you're interested in the car business, give the Sweeney people a call or stop by and talk to them about what they have, what kind of jobs they have open.
Absolutely. I know right now we're always taking applications. Things are a little difficult, as everybody knows, with COVID-19 right now, but we are always looking for new talent, younger individuals that show great initiative and that want to come to work every day. And we have many, many, many other areas of opportunity here other than just being a technician.
But right, they have an HR department, they have an accounting department, they have marketing. So there's a lot of back office stuff, as well as the frontline sales team, which is one of the top sales teams in the state. I buy my cars from Sweeney through Chris Davis. So little plug there for my man Chris. Okay,
Yep.
So let's see what the students have to say.
Okay.
We have one student is asking if Sweeney does offer apprenticeships at the dealership.
Yes, we do. At this time, I can't say for sure if it would happen with COVID-19.
Right.
But as Chase Packard, who was the last individual that we just did a little one-on-one with, was mentioning, there has been opportunities in the past that I know for a fact will be in the future, where you will have to probably start as an entry level, say it was for a technician, for apprentice, where you would change oil, do tire rotations, light tire repairs, things like that. And with the right attitude and the right attendance and showing a whole bunch of initiative, then there would be an opportunity to do an apprenticeship program. And the last one that we did here, that I can't say for sure right now, but was through the Stark State College. And we took, like Chase, for example, and he would come to work, and the days that he didn't have class, he would work here full time, and then he would do school full time at Stark State. And then when he's here, you would mentor with a master technician such as myself or such as Devin, who Devin just, as he had mentioned, recently got promoted as our shop foreman now. So it would be not just coming every day and working next to somebody. That would be a part of it, but there's also schooling involved that we've done in the past that may be an opportunity to do that in the future.
Okay, great. Yeah, we know things are a little, well, they're actually a lot different now for a lot of businesses, unfortunately, due to the virus. So let's see. We have another student that would like to know, what kind of salary or wages does a typical technician make in your field? We don't need you to answer how much you make.
Oh, okay. No, I know. I've been asked this question before with Jill and with several other students. I will say this. A lot of people would probably have that off base a little bit. I can live a very comfortable life as a technician, and I obviously can't give you the exact number, but I make more money than some people who have 4-year degrees. Not that that's a bad thing, going to college for 4 years, but blue collar workers, with all the training that we do as technicians, whether you're even a technician, a plumber, electrician, you make a really good wage. And it's not just about the wage. A company like Sweeney's, you have opportunity to have sick days, vacation days, 401k for retirement, and also big deal when you become an adult in the real world is medical insurance and dental insurance and vision insurance. So those are all things offered here at this company and just several others. So I'm able to pay for all those things and live a very comfortable life.
Great. That's great to know. Nick, I don't know if this is applicable at this point, or if it's just hands-on experience, but are there any subjects in high school that are important for a technician to do well in or exceed in?
Oh, absolutely. So I didn't get to touch on everything, but just like monitoring that data on that engine when it's running on that laptop, I need to be able to do some math in my head sometimes if I need to figure out certain sensors and what they're running at versus certain other sensors. So I need to be able to do addition, multiplication. I need to have skill sets like that. A lot of technicians have to write their own cause and correction on the repair order electronically. So typing is one of the things I took at Boardman High School. I took typing for 2 years so I can be efficient at typing, because it's one of the last things you want to spend a lot of time on as a technician. So typing, math, there's even sometimes a little bit of science involved where we do some measurements with fuel and the volatility of fuel and ethanol in fuel. So we have to, we get out, just like in science class, we get out the beaker jars and we have, measuring that we're doing. And we obviously need to be able to do math with that, with the science, to figure out why a car may not be running so great. So many skills that I did, where I was mentored along early, where I was, told, if they're offering it at high school, take it, such as typing, and also along with math and science and being able to write as well.
Okay, great. I think the answer to this is probably obvious, but maybe you could tell us in what ways. One of the students would like to know, are today's cars more computerized than in the past?
Oh, absolutely. There is a massive amount of technology on these vehicles, and that kind of goes full circle with our training and why we have to do so much training. As most of the students already know, almost every car now comes with Bluetooth, with Wi-Fi, all the safety pieces of equipment to alert you if a car's next to you, behind you, if you're about to hit something in front of you. So when you think about all those, nice little gadgets that we have in cars to make them more efficient or more fun to drive or more safe to drive, all that has training behind it. So we have to do specific training in regards to that technology on these vehicles. And as I had mentioned earlier, there's up to 35 plus modules or little tiny computers all talking to each other at a very fast speed of rate while that car is either running in your driveway or going down the road.
Great. Nick, do you suggest that somebody that knows in high school that they're interested in a career in the automotive industry, that they attend a career center as opposed to staying in the high school itself?
I think that would be a great way to get ahead of the game, get ahead of the curve. I can't speak from experience. I went to Boardman, but I didn't get a chance to go to like an MCCTC or the other CCTC or the Trumbull one as well. But I think that would be a great way to be ahead of the game if you can say that immediately coming in. preliminary level that I'm already experienced to the environment, so to speak. I was very fortunate to work for a gentleman who was a teacher at Chauvin many years ago and opened his own personal business, as well as Devin also worked for the same gentleman who we got affiliated through a former weld shop teacher at Foreman High School. So I would go work for him every day after school. And that was kind of like my career and technical center training, and I got paid for it because he would let me work after school and work full time when school wasn't in session. So I agree with that completely, and I think it's a great way to be able to say, hey, I'm already experienced to this environment and doing certain things, and I know certain things about cars, and I've racked a car before, to where somebody that maybe hasn't done that, we could still bring them along, but it's going to take a little bit longer.
Okay, great. I would agree with that as well. Elliot asked a question. Elliot, you would like to know who Nick's employer is, and Nick's employer is Sweeney Chevrolet Buick GMC. They're located on Market Street in Boardman. They are on two sides of the street, not far from Cafe Capri. They just rebuilt a building that was damaged by a microburst a couple years ago. Is that right, Nick?
Yeah, we had a tornado microburst in November of 2017 that knocked down a great portion of the Buick GMC dealership on the one side of Market Street. Our sister store directly across the street was not affected by this microburst. Just at the angle that it came at, it basically destroyed the service department and damaged the sales department and destroyed our sales department, and also destroyed our Pace Performance building. A lot of people don't know we also own Pace Performance, which is like, if some of the students know, if they're into motorsports or high performance or drag racing, like Summit Racing, Pace Performance deals with everything like they do. And we also deal with specifics in dirt racing. So we actually have a company that's affiliated with our parts department in Pace Performance. So they built a new building behind this new dealership as well for our parts storage and for our Pace Performance Center.
Okay, great. Nick, one of the students, Sandy, would like to know, how do you suggest a student prepare for an interview for a position as a technician such as yourself?
Okay, that's a good question. Depending on credentials and experience, and if you're a career and technical center student, you want to really, just like any interview, probably start off emphasizing on, how excited you would be to work here. Maybe do a little bit of research on the company, a little bit of background, like reconnaissance research. So you could say, well, I know you've been in, like Sweeney's, we've been here since 1921. And maybe you can, start off the interview that way. And then specifics as a technician, whether, again, it was at a career center or working with your grandpa, your dad in the garage, you can talk about things that you are passionate about when it comes to working on a car, whether you helped restore an old hot rod with your grandfather or your dad or whoever, and why you would want to be a technician, and why you enjoy working with your hands and want to come to work every day. And, just basically touching on having a great attitude, showing a lot of initiative, and, specifically talking about why you like working on cars and why you're passionate about working on cars. Because I feel like if you're going to do something the rest of your life, the way we have to work a very long time, everybody has to do it. You want to be passionate, and I'm passionate about coming to work every day and working on cars. I've loved cars since I can remember being a little boy, and that's basically how I would probably go about the interview is explaining how you're just looking for an opportunity to show what you can do.
I would totally agree with that. And just to expand upon that a little bit more, is that if you've done these things, even though they're not in a workplace environment, if you, like you said, you helped your grandpa, you helped your dad do this, you helped your dad do that, it's much better to explain that situation and what you've done, as opposed to saying, I have no experience. Just because you didn't get paid for it doesn't mean you don't have experience.
Right.
Another thing, the student asked how you can prepare for an interview. I'm just going to go ahead and brag a little bit about one of my Boardman students last year, Dylan Shook. Dylan is a detailer with Sweeney Chevrolet, and which means he cleans the cars that as the new cars are getting ready to be sold to the customers, and they're getting to pick them up. So Dylan has a passion for that. So when he did his interview with Caitlin and Alexa and department manager last year in Sweeney, he asked them at the end of the interview if they had a few minutes to come outside. So Dylan and the management team went outside, and he had detailed his car the night before. So he wanted to show them what type of work he was capable of doing. He was just a high school senior, but he didn't have job experience, but they pretty much hired him on the spot. So there are a lot of things the high school students can do even without actual hands-on job experience. So, okay, I'm done bragging about Dylan now. Okay,
Yeah.
so Nick, can you talk a little bit? One of the students wants to know if you how important is customer service in a position like yours?
Okay, so that's a great question. A lot of great questions today. So it's very important, especially as again, I'll use the term full circle. There is actually quite a bit of times where as even a technician that you'll get an opportunity to speak with a customer. So you obviously want to be presentable, be able to go over the vehicle with them, and understand if you need to understand specifically what's wrong with the car. Speaking from a service advisor standpoint, you have to be able to understand that when the car breaks, obviously they're in a bind. People need their vehicles to get to work, pick their children up from maybe a soccer game, things like that. So interacting with customers is something that I do on a daily basis myself, even as a technician. I will sometimes, without COVID-19 present, go for a road test with a customer. And you need to be able to communicate with a customer back and forth on trying to figure out at least what the customer's main concern is. So that way you can diagnose the car properly and get it back to them efficiently. That way we're not, holding anything up. So you want to be able to interact with them, have great communication skills, obviously make eye contact, be sincere, be genuine, and understand that, it's difficult. It's fun to buy a car. That's always fun, but it's never fun for somebody to come in and have their car worked on. Some people, it doesn't bother them, but, they need of transportation is extremely important, obviously for the reasons I mentioned earlier. So interacting with customers is very, very, I would consider that a skill. I would consider that over the years, you develop it better. You start to learn people, learn things about the car, and at least specifically talking about my position. So very, very important tool, whether you're going to be a technician, service advisor, salesman, and anything like that. So very, very important to be able to take care of the customer.
Life, right? Pretty much everything you do in life. It's about customer service, right?
Anything you do in life, whether you're the customer, you're helping the customer. Communication's key and helping people out.
Yep. So this is kind of a cool question. I don't know if you have an answer to it. Nick, do you have a favorite kind of car that you like to work on?
Well, I would say I probably enjoy working on trucks more than cars. I like working on trucks. When we're talking about the technologically advanced vehicles that we work on here at Sweeney's, and being a GM tech, I like working on pickup trucks, like the Sierra Silverados. If I'm working at home, though, I really do enjoy working on old muscle cars. It's always kind of been my thing since I was, a teenager. I have an older Camaro at home that I work on as a hobby in my spare time, and hope to drag race it here when COVID-19 goes away.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Do you have any special stories that stand out to you in your role as a technician, like anything that you're most proud of or anything like that?
Specifically, I'm trying to think of anything currently, but I can tell you this. I've got a lot of enjoyment out of good examples like today, being a Friday afternoon, and that person needs that vehicle back, whether it's to, like I was saying earlier, take their children to a soccer game or maybe go on vacation. So I've had a few times in my career where, I stayed over late to get the car done, and, I received a lot of thanks. I've had customers write letters to the owners here, Alexa and Doug, about, that, Nick did this and was able to stay over and get my car done because he understands the importance of needing my vehicle back. And not just myself. Devin's had that happen with a ton of customers over his career. So specifically, I can't think of any incidents, or moments, I'll call them, offhand right now. Just things been a little bit different with COVID-19 and us opening this new dealership. But in the past, I've had, a a lot of incidents like that where I was able to take care of the customer's car, get it back to them, to get them rolling on wherever they needed to go, and how important it was for them to get that vehicle back.
No, I get it. That makes total sense. Let's see. Hold on one second. Oh, I know that you, Sweeney Chevrolet, Buick GMC, they do job shadowing programs, because I've had some of my students from Canfield job shadow with you guys. So can you tell us a little about how Sweeney handles the job shadowing situations?
Oh yeah, I've done that in the past as several other guys here. We would have loved to have done that this year. I'm hoping we can do it. I'm hoping we can do it next year.
We actually squeezed some in with a few people before this all happened, but
yeah, I did a few. I don't remember offhand exactly what month it was, but yeah, I recall some of them, and I think we're in the fall. But a typical day when you're going to job shadow a technician is basically you want to come in, at least dressed for the environment. You want to wear maybe an old pair of jeans and a shirt, that's tucked in, and maybe some work boots. But you're going to basically be given an opportunity to stay at the hip, so to speak, with a technician throughout the day. So you'll be able to go out to the car with them, pull it into the service bay, work in the service bay with them, racking a vehicle so you can lift it up in the air if need be, going over all the equipment I went over earlier if it comes up when you're trying to do drivability or any sort of diagnostics, working it out of the toolbox with the technician. They may even let you do some light stuff with them or watch them obviously do it. So you're going to be at the hip, basically a real live experience, in the shop, in the environment, in the customer's cars, going over the diagnostic equipment, maybe coming to the parts counter, grabbing the parts needed to work on the car, obviously going back to the service bay, getting the car fixed up, interacting with the service advisors so that the service advisors can communicate through the technician to the customer. And then maybe even get an opportunity to speak, watch a technician speak with the customer. So we do it very hands-on here because we want potential future candidates or whoever may be even interested in the automotive field to get a real live experience for it.
great. Students that are out on the webinar today, if you're interested in job shadowing once the COVID-19 is over, please feel free to speak to your guidance counselors, your teachers, your career counselors, such as myself and my coworkers. We are very happy to set up those programs for you, because oftentimes your guidance counselors just don't have time for everything that's on their plate. So the career counseling program is very much an advocate of the job shadowing program. And not only is it good for you to see if that's a position or a job that you want to do when you graduate, but it's also the opportunity to find out maybe it's something that you don't want to do. So I highly recommend that job shadowing for those that may not be college-bound students. So I believe that was our last question. Oh no, I'm sorry, we have one more.
Okay.
About how many cars or trucks do you work on in a day or a week, Nick?
Okay. So that all depends on basically what the car comes in for, specifically. So obviously if I bring a car in and the engine's not running right, and to sum up the story on it or the diagnostic, if it needs an engine replacement, that could take anywhere from 8 hours to some of them even take up to like 20, 24 hours, depending on the make and model of the vehicle. So if I do a couple of those in a week, obviously I'm only going to work on about 3 to 5 vehicles. Other days, if I'm doing a bunch of software updates on calibration software updates on vehicles, I may pull in 15 to 20 vehicles. So it's a mix of, when it comes to count, it's a mix of vehicles. So it just depends on what the car comes in for, what you find out what's wrong with the vehicle, and then you just go from there. So it changes week to week. I will say that.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, I would love to thank you, Nick, for once again taking your time. I know we've done so many things working together, and you and I have done job shadowing. We've done the trade show at the Canfield Fairgrounds, so all kinds of good stuff. I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank Alexa and Doug Sweeney Caitlin Leonelli, the management team at Sweeney Chevrolet, not only for always helping us with whatever I ask for, but also their huge amount of participation and caring about our community. So it doesn't get a whole lot better than Sweeney Chevrolet. So thank you so much, Nick. We appreciate your time, and stay safe out there.
You're welcome. Everybody stay safe, and thank you for spending time with me.
One more thing.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank the students, besides yourself, obviously, but videos of our presenters will be available soon on the Mahoney County Educational Service Center website. So there's some fine tuning we have to do, but with the conclusion of our webinar, our virtual career exploration tour week, we will get all those up and running, and the students will be able to see them throughout whatever school district they're in. So thanks
Sounds
again.
great.
Take care. Stay safe out there.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
you too. Take care. Bye.